Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is Charles here. Had no idea I wanted to cover this today, but I saw the breaking story, breaking story. So happy 4th of July to everybody, and then we'll get started. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Yeah, this is a breaking story, guys. It's a breaking story. I'm going to cover it. It's just developing. It's been coming out. It's only been out for a few hours. So I'm going to try to give you guys some information. I don't have 100% of the information, obviously, but I'm going to do my best to cover this one for you guys. Happy 4th of July to everyone. So I'm going to give it about 2 minutes to just allow some people to catch up to this live, and we're going to cover it. Again, this is our day off. So we just, let me just touch on this story. So let me just she didn't get exposed. She just told the truth. Okay, let's just give it a few minutes and then we'll get to it. Let's just give it a few minutes and then we'll get to it. I'll give it one more minute. Just allow some people to come in. I'm sure people are having barbecue chicken right now or something. So I'll give it 30 more seconds and then we'll get into the story. 30 more seconds here and then we'll get into the story here because this is a pretty interesting one here. Had no idea really about this story, but it looks like first of all, it looks like it's true from what I've been reading. And it's quite surprising because it looks like they have a conflict there at that place. So some people are already asking for the source. I have the New York Times as my source, but obviously there's an audio circulating out there that you guys can hunt down on the internet. But you can just search the New York Times. You can find it right there for yourself. Anyway, okay, so let me get into this story here. So this is a bit of a bombshell, but apparently Rachel Nichols, and I've already heard the audio, which I cannot play for you, obviously, because I'm live here with you. Rachel Nichols already basically has some comments about Maria Taylor. Now, Maria Taylor, she's a host, she's an analyst, more like a host on ESPN, and she does a bunch of different shows for them. She generally covers like different type of sports. For example, if I look at Maria Taylor, I know she covers college football. She covers college volleyball, the NBA, the NFL, and college and men's and women's basketball. So that's really what she's known for. She's a 34-year-old analyst there, and she went to the University of Georgia. Apparently, a number of days ago, right, there were some stories floating around there that she was supposed to be renegotiating a new contract. You can get it here from SI.com. I'm going to post that right here, so you guys can definitely check that out from SI.com. That article basically talks about her, the contract back and forth negotiation that she was having with ESPN. And essentially, from what I was able to glean from that story, it turns out that, in fact, what she wanted was she was requesting more money from the network that was on par to what Stephen A. Smith was earning, right? They were initially, according to the New York Post columnist Andrew Manchard, ESPN offered Maria Taylor nearly $5 million per year. You can read this from the article, is right in front of you, up from her reportedly $1 million per year salary. So up until this new contract negotiation, which you guys can read for yourselves, she was earning $1 million a year, right? So for this new contract renegotiation, the company offered her $5 million, right? And she said that he said that Taylor essentially turned down that offer because she wanted to get into the Stephen A. Smith salary territory because he is earning about $8 million plus per annum, right? So that was this was kind of circulating in the background. Now, while they were cutting costs mode for the pandemic, ESPN offered Taylor, and because they didn't come to an agreement, so I think they lowered the number once they saw that she wasn't willing to take that number, and then they offered her a range of $2 to $3 million per year. And really, that's where that story kind of fell off. This happened a few days ago. We're talking about 4 or 5 days ago. The article is right there. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? So this is where the story kind of left off, right? Then today, I'm sitting here relaxing, and I forgot who it was, but my mother told me, she was like, "Did you hear the story about what's happening with this lady working at ESPN?" So I said no. So I quickly hopped on my computer and I saw that Rachel Nichols was basically breaking news everywhere. There was this story floating around that she has some comments that were recorded, a video that was leaked of a conversation I'm assuming she was having in private, where she was discussing the issue with ESPN, giving her Maria Taylor this new job. Now, apparently, what happened is, I think ESPN has given her a new position, and basically this New York Times article just broke the story. So I'm gonna post that link here so you guys can read it. So that's let me see if I can pin that. So let me see if I can pin this message. I'm gonna pin this message to the top. So that's a New York Times article that you guys can read for yourselves. I saw some people asking me for the link. You can read it right there for yourself. So this is basically the story here. So I'm going to read it to you guys quickly. So basically, this is the story, and I think it's reported by Kevin Draper. This was reported today. So basically, as the NBA playoffs started in May, the stars of ESPN marquee basketball show NBA Countdown discussed whether they would refuse to appear on it. They were objecting to a production edict from executives that they believed was issued to benefit the sideline reporter and fellow star Rachel Nichols, despite comments she made suggesting that the host of the NBA Countdown, Maria Taylor, had gotten the job because she was black. Nichols is white. Now, a pre-show call with Taylor and other commentators, Jalen Rose, Adrian Wojnarowski, and Jay Williams, as well as NBA Countdown staff members, have turned, acrimonious, and Jimmy Pitaro, ESPN president, has several phone conversations while at a family event to try to smooth things over. So essentially, this is what happened. Okay, I believe that Rachel Nichols was supposed to be covering the finals. Okay, because she has covered the finals before, if I'm not mistaken. We all know who Rachel Nichols is. She works at ESPN. She's been there for quite some time. Now, I don't know what her salary is, but I'm going to try to pull that up here. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Rachel Nichols, ESPN salary. I'm not sure if they have it here. Okay, so apparently Rachel Nichols was being paid, according to what I'm reading here from playersbio.com. She was being paid $1.5 million a year, right? And essentially, I think her whole issue is, at least according to what she said in the video, which I've heard, and you guys can go hunt that video down for yourself. Again, it's on the internet. Essentially, from the comments that she made in the video, this seems to be her issue with this whole story. Her issue seems to be this. She feels as if Maria Taylor got that job because ESPN was trying to fulfill some type of diversity quota, right? She feels that's the reason that she got the job. If you guys go and listen to the audio, you can hear her give, or say, kind of say it, and that's the reason that she feels that way. Now, a few things. Number one, this conversation that she had was in confidence, meaning it was a private conversation. So I don't know. I don't know who was recording that conversation or why that person decided to leak that conversation. I'm not sure of all of that stuff because, as I said, the story's just breaking, and there's going to be more information that's coming out about it as time goes on. So there's one aspect of that. One, who recorded it? Number two, why did that person release it? Because I'm 100% sure if Rachel Nichols knew that she was being recorded, I'm 100% sure that she doesn't make those comments out loud. And this is something that I think that most people do. I think most people wouldn't say the things that they normally say if the cameras were on them 100% of the time. However, here's the problem. This creates a major problem for ESPN. Why? Because ESPN has been positioning itself, from what it looks like, as a left-leaning sports kind of pseudo political network, right? Let's just be honest. ESPN seems to have a position which is, they're pro-left. They support Black Lives Matter. You saw them doing those different protests during the Orlando bubble, players, holding hands in solidarity. I think ESPN was all together for that. And ESPN kind of gave this image that they were pro-Black, right? So the issue with these comments is that it seems as if that their employees within ESPN that number one have a problem with the direction in which the company's taking as far as its social stances that the company seems to take, because the company has been taking some social stances, some let's say Black Lives Matter stances, right? For better, and let me just say this: number one, it's their prerogative. because ESPN it's its own company and it can pretty much do whatever they want. I don't think ESPN is a publicly traded company, but they are owned by Disney, and Disney is a public. But you understand what I'm saying, right? So I think they're within their right to do that, but they are kind of like a left leaning platform, which is their right to do. But it creates a problem because it looks like there's some dissension within the ranks. And for Rachel Nichols to come out here and make these comments proves that. Now, I have a bunch of thoughts that I want to unpack here. A bunch of thoughts. First thing is this. Okay. The first thing is, if in fact Rachel Nichols is being paid $1.5 million per year, okay, and the company is choosing to offer Maria Taylor what was the first offering between about $5 million a year, is her problem in fact, I'm just trying to go through the different questions I have in my mind, that she feels as if ESPN doesn't have enough funds, doesn't have enough money to pay Maria Taylor that amount of money per annum and still pay her and still run as a network. So essentially what I'm asking is this. Imagine if you're in a household and you're married to somebody, okay, and you have 4 kids, and one of your kids is getting ready to go to college, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to give this guy $1,500 a month. Meanwhile, before he was going to college, the 3 other kids were receiving $300 each. I can see if your partner says, wait a minute, do we have an additional $1,000 a month to give to this kid to go to college? Do we have that money? That's a legitimate question, because you're like, okay, do we have that? I don't know if we have that money for us to be paying this person. But in this case of ESPN makes hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars. I think ESPN makes, I think over $1 billion. If I look at ESPN, let me see. ESPN, I checked it earlier. ESPN revenue. ESPN generated in the first quarter, they generated of 2021, they generated $4.4 billion. Okay. So for ESPN to pay Maria Taylor $5 million a year, it is a drop in the bucket. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's like you make $500,000 a year and you're paying somebody $5,000 a year. That's nothing, right? In the grand scheme of things. So if Rachel Nichols' first issue is, if her issue is that, wait a minute, is she saying to herself that the company doesn't have enough money and how can they afford to be paying this woman this amount of money? Then she has no right to do that, because last time I checked, Rachel Nichols is an employee of ESPN. So if they want to do whatever they want to do, if they want to hire somebody, if they want to give a raise to the company, it's not her company. She works for the company. She doesn't have any right to question how much they want to pay somebody else if the question is based on salary. That's the first thing. Happy 4th of July to everybody out there. That's the first thing. The second question is this, though. Does she have an issue? The other issue she could possibly be having is maybe an issue of tenure or of experience. Maybe she feels that she's been with ESPN for maybe, I don't know 15 years, and Maria Taylor has been with ESPN for, I don't know, 5 years, and she probably feels, because I've been with this company for a longer time, then it makes no sense for you to be paying somebody more than you're paying me when I've been here longer. Now, if that's the case, then she has an argument. But before I go too far, let me check and see how long she's actually been working with ESPN. Okay. So I want you guys to hang on for a minute and let me see. And it's also worth noting that Rachel Nichols is 47 years old and Maria Taylor is 34 years old. So there's also kind of a seniority thing probably at play here. So let me see how long she has been working at ESPN. I'm not really sure. So just give me a second here. Let me just see her career. In 2013, she left CNN. She left ESPN for CNN. She returned to ESPN. Okay, so Rachel Nichols returned to ESPN. She bounced around to different networks, but she returned to ESPN in 2016. She co-hosted the Jump The Jump, which is the show that you all know, a daily discussion show, this and this and this. And she returned, and she was named host of NBA Saturday Primetime on ABC and the NBA Finals on ABC. So essentially, from what I'm reading here, is this. Okay. Well, actually, before I get to that, let me see how long Maria Taylor has been at ESPN. So just give me a second here, because obviously I wouldn't have this knowledge in the back of my mind, because I have other things better to do than know how long this woman has been working at ESPN. So let me see. Okay. So here it is. Maria Taylor started working at ESPN in 2019. She began hosting the show NBA Countdown, a pregame show for ESPN's Friday night and Sunday afternoon NBA games, right? So we know she's only been working at the company for 2 years, which makes me this. Maria Taylor hosting NBA Finals. Let me just see this quickly. Okay, ESPN. Just a second here. Okay, let me see. Taylor was picked. Okay, so I understand it all here. So basically, this is what happened. Here's the article here. This is from the Daily Mail. I've posted that in the comment section. Basically, this is what happened. Rachel Nichols started working at ESPN in 2016. Okay, follow the story here. She started working at the company in 2016. Okay, she was being paid $1.5 million a year. Fine. And she was normally covering the NBA playoffs and the NBA finals. Good, we've understood that. It looks like this year, however, Maria Taylor was trying to negotiate a new contract with ESPN, and they offered her $5 million per annum, in which she turned down because she wanted to earn money similar to that Stephen A. Smith was earning. We've understood that. Now, her wanting to earn the same amount of money that Stephen A. Smith earns is a completely different video, right? But one thing we do know is that Stephen A. Smith is the face of ESPN. So it's easy for us to understand that he will be their highest paid, let's say, analyst, right, or employee. So we've understood that part. Good. So there's that aspect of it. Now, here's Rachel Nichols. Rachel Nichols is upset, probably, number one, because she's upset, she's upset, number one, probably because she feels as if that Maria Taylor, who just got to the company 2 years prior, is being offered $5 million a year when she has more tenure at the company. That's number one. Another thing to keep into consideration is this, and it's a real thing, is the age factor, okay? A person that is older than another person who is maybe 13 years younger, in this case of Maria Taylor, the person that is older is usually going to feel as if they deserve to be paid more than the younger person. This happens in all walks of life. Okay, this is nothing new here. This is nothing to be surprised about. I think everybody understands this, and it has everything to do with seniority. So we understood that part. So maybe this is an aspect of it. Fine. Then the final part of this is this. Maybe, and then the final part of this is this. Her comments regarding the reason why Maria Taylor got the NBA Finals or NBA playoffs job. This is where the issue comes in, because if you listen to her comments, there's a video out there. You guys can go and hunt it down. I don't have I can't be covering this topic with you and then searching for video links for people on here. You guys can just search for it on the internet. Some people are covering it. I just heard it myself, so you guys can find it out there. So I've given you guys the background. The issue becomes, though, Rachel Nichols' feelings as to why Maria Taylor was hired. She feels the company, ESPN in this case, gave Maria Taylor the position not because she was competent, but instead because they were trying to fulfill some type of diversity quota. That's where the issue that's where the issue comes in. Because she doesn't feel, clearly by the statements that she made, that Maria Taylor would have gotten that job otherwise. She doesn't feel that she would have earned it on the merits. She doesn't feel like as if she would have been good enough for the job on her own. That's where the issue comes in. Now, do I have a horse in this race? No, but I'm trying to comb through the facts together here. Now, here's why we have some issues, and I'm going to get into this. I want to get deep into this for a second here. I've been kind of seeing some of the comments, and I've been seeing people mention Kwame Brown. Okay, this is where Kwame Brown comes in, and I don't mean to interject him, but this particular story makes this thing very, very, very relevant. Just a moment here. Bottom line, she says that she's okay with blacks getting shine as long as it doesn't affect her too bad. Not how the world works. Opportunities are limited, and she said it was because of her race. Thank you very much for that comment, FLC Lee Max. Thank you for that comment. Okay, thank you. So here's where Kwame Brown comes into play. Okay, and I'm not sitting here searching for views and all of this stuff, but I want to give the guy his credit, because Kwame Brown said in over the past month and a half, 2 months, when he gained prominence on YouTube for his comments coming at Stephen A. Smith and all of this, he brought up Rachel Nichols. Okay, he brought her up all on his own. Okay, and apparently Kwame Brown had feelings about Rachel Nichols even before this story came out. Why? Because Kwame Brown was a former NBA player. He was a former basketball player. And you got to ask yourself the question, of all the reporters that Kwame Brown has met in his career, why would he bring up Rachel Nichols? Why would he bring her up? You know how he's always talking about the get along, the go along, get along gang and all of this? Well, here you find Rachel Nichols making these type of comments. Now, why is this a problem? Why is this a problem? It's a problem because when the whole reason that we're surprised by these comments is because of the person we believe Rachel Nichols to be. This is the reason. I think if what's his name? Tucker Carlson or one of these guys got this job from Fox, if they said that, nobody would be surprised. No one will be surprised, because you kind of expect those type of comments. Now, it's their network, it's their show, they have their right. I'm not getting into all of that. I'm just trying to kind of paint a picture here. But in this particular case, the way Rachel Nichols positions herself, you would think that she would have no issues with blacks just by the way that she carries herself, right? Just by the way she carries herself. She always interviews players. She's very, very chummy with them. It seems like everything is great. Players are very friendly with her, whether it be Chris Paul, whether it be LeBron James, whether it be whoever, right? You see her on her show. She'll be saying all of these different things, but then in the back of her mind, she's feeling as if she has these feelings towards a colleague. Now, here's the issue. The issue then becomes this, and this is a real thing, okay? Y'all know I never talk on race because, as I said with the Scottie Pippen video, I said there's suitable moments in which race needs to be discussed, and I don't want to waste it on situations where I feel like somebody's trying to sell a book or a bourbon and we're going to talk about. I feel like this is a suitable moment. Here's the problem. The problem is this. Some people pick and choose which blacks are acceptable and which ones are unacceptable, right? Which ones we're going to make exceptions for, which others we're not going to make exceptions for. And I'll give you an example of this. I was dating a girl some years ago in college. Okay, I was a regular college a guy in college, right? A normal guy in college. I liked the girl, very nice girl, right? Very nice girl. But then she said, I told my parents about you. I said, okay, no big deal. As you can see, I'm black. Okay. My mom is black. My dad is black. My dad is blacker than me. So, but I have Marco, for example, is my best friend, and he's white. So we don't have those type of issues. But she then said, I told my dad about you. I said, okay. And she said, as long or if he's like Will Smith, then no problem. As long as he's like Will Smith, then no problem. And I said to myself, I said, wait a minute, what? What do you mean by that comment? As long as I'm like Will Smith? Meaning, you got to be damn near Will Smith for some people to be accepted. But if you're just a regular dude, it wasn't going to happen. Later on, no disrespect to the girl, because I haven't spoken to her in years. Here I am, an entrepreneur. I did business with my dad. I do business with myself. I work hard, all of this stuff. She ended up dating a farmer, a guy that farms. Is there anything wrong with being a farmer? No, but that's what she dated. Then she dated a guy that worked at a coffee shop. So it's okay for the guy that works at a coffee shop or the guy that's the farmer, but I got to be Will Smith. I say that to say this. Just because Rachel Nichols likes LeBron James or is friendly with Chris Paul or friendly with basketball players doesn't mean that that's going to be the rule for everyone. Some people are like that. Others aren't. Marco is Italian. I've gone to Marco's family's house. Me and his granddad we were sitting there chopping it up. I didn't feel any kind of way. I felt like another person. Like I didn't feel any of that. Great family, great dad, great family, everything. But for some people, you got to be super Negro for you to be accepted. And I think that's what we're beginning to see here. People are shocked because they're trying to reconcile the image that they have of Rachel Nichols on the show with Matt Barnes, all of these guys with Richard Jefferson and all of them. And they're trying to reconcile her comments. And they're like, wait a minute, these two things don't add up together. Really? Rachel Nichols said that? That's the kickback that you're seeing right now. That's another issue. Because apparently it's an issue for them to be giving her that job. Now, here's another point that I have. And this is a deeper point. ESPN, as I said before, is a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay, multi-billion-dollar company. What gives you the right to feel about how they're paying somebody else? As long as you're making your money, why are you focused on the money that they're paying somebody else if your money's not being affected? How do those two things correlate with one another? It's not like as if they're saying we're going to pay her $5 million and the 1.5 or 2 million we're paying you, we're going to bring it down to 1.3 so we can make up the difference and pay her. Then I would have a problem. Then you can understand that. But if it's because you felt like they did it to fulfill some type of diversity quota, then there's an issue. And if you do feel that way, I got to ask a deeper question. Okay? Rachel Nichols, what if they hired you to fulfill a diversity quota, but instead it's not about color, instead it's about gender? How would you feel if somebody came up to you and said, the only reason they hired you was because you're a woman? And had you not been a woman, they would not hire you. Why are you so confident that you are hired on the merits, but somebody else they're willing to give a position to is because of diversity? How are you so sure about that? How are you so sure about your talent, what you bring to the table, your skills, your experience? You're 100% confident in that, but you have zero confidence in the fact that maybe that lady is being offered that job because she's good. Rachel Nichols is all for diversity quotas for white women. Every white female on ESPN was crying about Becky Hammond. FI white. Thank you for that comment. Who is this? FLC. Yeah, thank you so much for that. So how are you so sure? And this is the issue people are having. This is the issue. What makes you feel as if you can make a statement like that? The fact of the matter is, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. It has nothing to do with you. Now, obviously, you used to have that position, but hey, you're not going to be on top forever. And you feel like, listen, the only reason she got that job is because of diversity, basically means that, number one, the company in which you work for, they have no idea on how to hire staff. And again, it brings me back to my other point. If it turns out that you don't like the job that ESPN did by giving this woman that position, so why were you so happy when you got your job? How would you feel if after you got hired by ESPN, you had somebody out there saying, oh, the only reason Rachel Nichols got hired was because she's a woman? How would you feel? And now this story is going to have a ripple effect. Trust me, it's going to have a ripple effect. It's going to. Number one, is going to create a conversation within ESPN, because now it's going to be the coffee room is going to be pretty awkward, because now people are going to be looking at each other like, damn, that's how you felt all along? Damn, that's how you felt? I never knew you felt like that. Number one. And number two, is going to bring attention to ESPN like it is now that it does not want. And that's the reason why in the New York Times article that I posted at the top here, which is the ESPN president has been on several phone calls trying to smooth it out. It says some of those involved saw the initial maneuvering as a sign of network favoring Nichols, despite a backdrop of criticism for employees who complained about the sport network having a long mishandle of problems of racism. Now, it looks like ESPN has had some issues with racism in the past. Okay, which brings me back to Kwame Brown and Stephen A. Smith. I've spoken about Stephen A. Smith ad nauseum. As I said, today was supposed to be my vacation. I'm supposed to be off. But now that we're talking about it, let's talk about it. Stephen A. Smith has been accused of being hypercritical of blacks more so than he is of white athletes, Hispanic athletes, whatever it is. Now, I've heard him go at other people back and forth, go at other athletes like Jay Cutler and others, but I do understand when people say that. I have said that Stephen A. Smith has made it a mission to attack Kawhi Leonard, a guy that does not even speak, that's not on social media, and does every single thing in his power he can to try to debase the guy. The last thing he said was that he feels that the Clippers should trade away Kawhi Leonard for no real reason. I don't know, only in Stephen A. Smith's mind that it's a good idea to trade for an organization to trade away their best player. Only to him, it's a good idea. And he forgets the fact that the only reason the Clippers have Paul George in the first place is because of Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi Leonard said, I'm not coming to the Clippers unless you get Paul George. Now the same Stephen A. Smith is saying the Clippers should get rid of Kawhi Leonard. So I've already given my thoughts on him. But it looks like we got a problem, because Kwame Brown has been talking about this thing. He has been talking about Rachel Nichols. He has, but this thing is looking bad. This thing is looking bad. It's looking bad. So I don't know what is going to happen with this story, but it is a bombshell, because I guarantee you, not only blacks in general outside of the NBA community, but NBA players are going to be looking at Rachel Nichols sideways. Seriously, they're going to be doing it. They're going to be doing it. They're going to be doing it. It's just the reality. And for her to go to they're doing it because they're trying to fulfill a diversity quota. It's like, please don't do that. Have some self-awareness and know where you are. You live in America. Okay, I'm American. There's unfairness everywhere. Like, let's not even start. So if I was her, I would just be quiet. You could have the same conversation about Fox News. Go on Fox News. How many people, Hispanics and all, how many of them do you see there? How many? I didn't hear you talking about diversity quotas until it affected you. When it affected your bottom line, all of a sudden, ESPN is trying to fulfill some type of diversity quota. If you had gotten the job and Maria Taylor didn't get the job, would you be talking about diversity for them doing it to fulfill the diversity quota? I mean, what are we talking about here? The only reason you're talking about it is because it affected you. When it wasn't affecting you, I never heard Rachel Nichols making comments like, I've never seen it. Where are these comments from her? Where's all of this indignation? I never heard it. The minute it affected you, all of a sudden it became an issue. This is something that's rampant all over the place. What are we talking about here? So I was surprised to hear those comments from her. For the people that are coming in, the new people that are joining this live, Rachel Nichols was heard in an audio, which is on YouTube. I forgot where I heard it. I think I got the audio. Where did I hear the audio? Let me see. You can go to, where did I hear the audio? Okay. Blacktop Buckets is where I heard the audio. Blacktop Buckets is the audio's there. And they also have the text on the screen so you guys can read it. And basically, she took exception to the fact that Maria Taylor was being offered all of this money. And ultimately, Maria Taylor got Maria Taylor, took her job basically. No, I'm not attacking Fox News. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just painting a comparison. I trust me, I hate politics. The last thing you're going to see us talking on this channel is I don't do it. I hate it on a personal level. So you're not going to find me talking. I hate it because I think it's one big game that they play with people, and I don't like. I think it's a game, and the joke is on the people. I hate politics, so you'll never hear me discuss it. I'm just trying to make a comparison. Trust me, you won't hear me talking about politics. I can't stand politics. So I used to follow it in the past. You know, you'll never get me to talk about it. I'm not the person to do that. I'm just trying to give you guys an example here. But this is the story, and I don't know what to say. But it's making Kwame Brown look prophetic. Because to be quite honest with you, before Kwame Brown brought up Rachel Nichols, the thought of her being a part of the get along, go along, get along gang, I never, ever, ever, ever thought about it. He was the first one. He was the very first one. So you got to give credit to Kwame Brown for bringing it up. But here are the comments. And I don't know what ESPN is going to do. But this is a story, and it's a big one. This is a big story that's breaking, and I don't know. Let me see if there's some other information out there. Let me see. Top ESPN analysts. Wow. So basically, there's more breaking news. This is from Yahoo Entertainment. Okay, so there's more. As I told you, there was going to be a backlash, and here the backlash is. I told you there was going to be a backlash. I said that coffee break, the coffee room or the lunchroom or whatever it is that you call it in the office, was going to get awfully awkward. And here's the story. This is from Yahoo. Now, so this is what Yahoo's saying. Top ESPN analysts considered boycott over leaked Rachel Nichols video about black host. Leaked comments made last year by ESPN. These comments were made last year. Wow. By Rachel Nichols about the network's decision to have black college colleague Maria Taylor host the NBA Finals are still making waves. As the New York Times reports, that several of the company's top NBA analysts had considered boycotting this year's playoffs over ESPN president Jimmy Pattario over how ESPN's president Jimmy Pattario handled the situation. In July 2020, a leaked tape of a conversation between Rachel Nichols, LeBron James' agent Rich Paul, and James' advisor Adam, and the conversation, which was accidentally recorded and uploaded to ESPN servers because Nichols forgot to turn off her video camera. Nichols expressed frustration that Taylor had been chosen over her to host the NBA Countdown during the last year's NBA Finals, suggesting that the network made the decision because it was feeling pressure on diversity. Her quote, this is what she said, "I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball," Nichols said late in July 2020. "If you need to give her more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record of diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You're not going to find it in front of me or taking a thing away or taking my thing away." After the video spread internally at the network and was later partially leaked by Deadspin, Taylor told ESPN's executive that she had decided not to finish covering the NBA season. She reconsidered, however, after the network agreed to have Nichols' sideline reporting segments be pre-recorded and presented as if they were live so that she would not interact with Taylor on air. Just imagine how deep this is. NYT, the New York Times, reported that Taylor believed ESPN broke its word when it aired live segments with Rachel Nichols, even though they did not include interactions with Taylor. Wow. So this seems like something that has been festering under the table for a very long time. I didn't know this. I did not know this. This is the article I just read that from. Let me post it here. Let me just see when this article was published. This article was published today. So you can just look at the date by Jeremy Fuster. So I'm going to post this here, and I'm going to pin this to the top so you guys can read it for yourself. So that article is pinned to the top there, so you guys can read that. So apparently these comments were made a while ago, and they kept this under wraps. And for some reason, this story came out. And let me see, confirmed. This is unbelievable. So I don't understand. I don't know. Something happened. And this story came out. And I don't know why, but it looks like Kwame Brown was right after all. It looks like the guy was right after all. Now, I don't think he ever mentioned anything in this detail, maybe because he's a former NBA player, maybe he's connected, maybe he knows certain sports journalists, maybe he knows some people still connected to that industry, maybe he heard about it, but I never heard him give this specific information here. But this is crazy. This is crazy, and it's something that they're gonna it's something that they're gonna have to deal with. I said before in the past, for the people that are on our channel, you guys know I said that we did a video on Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. I thought that was a waste of my time as far as him talking about Phil Jackson and racism. I didn't think that was a suitable moment to bring in racism. I felt like there were better situations that we could have saved that up for. This is one of them. I didn't want to waste my time with that, especially when somebody was out there saying all type of inflammatory things to sell a book and some bourbon. So I felt like I said, don't waste my time with things like that. When a suitable situation comes out, I felt like this was one of them. So I said, hey, why not cover it? And that's the information that I got for you guys there. You guys can make of it what you want. Regarding my thoughts on the whole thing, it's just disappointing. But I've told you, I've already given you guys my personal example. I needed to be Will Smith. You would have thought, by the way, the girl in which I was referring to, you would have thought it was Queen Elizabeth's niece or somebody like that, right? Because you got to be pretty full of yourself, right? To be a nobody expecting to be with Will Smith. You got to be really full of yourself. And that's the That's what I had to go. I had to become Will Smith to date some regular old girl from a regular old family. And I told you how I've been as, because some people say, well, Rachel Nichols really feels this way. But I thought she likes LeBron. I thought she likes Chris Paul. I thought she likes Klay Thompson. Well, it looks like there's certain exceptions. There's certain exceptions. That wasn't the only one. A girl I knew, I didn't date her. She told me, oh, yeah, she would date a black guy. I said, oh, wow, that's nice. If he looks like Tyson Beckford. How many black guys y'all know that look like Tyson Beckford? Why does he have to look like Tyson Beckford for you to date him? I don't get it. I don't get it. The story came out because ESPN never disciplined Rachel. Well, I guess so. I guess so. Why do I have to look like Tyson Beckford? Why does it have to be the standard? Why you got to be some super? You know what I'm saying? But there it is for you guys, and that's the story. And this is where this is how it goes. So basically, guys, this was supposed to be my day off. I had no intention of covering this video, but here we are. I've shared all the articles and all the links. Again, thank you guys for joining us, and you guys can hunt down the rest of the information for yourself. I just said, hey, why not cover this story while it's out and while it's hot? So once again, guys, thank you guys for being a part of this live. Enjoy the rest of your 4th of July. And for those of you who are not celebrating 4th of July, celebrate, what is it? Smith is entertaining. Doesn't mean he's legit. Yeah. So once again, you guys enjoy your holidays, enjoy your Sunday. And for those of you guys celebrating 4th of July, happy 4th of July. We catch you guys later. Take it easy. All right. Peace.